Hello everyone. So for this video, I have been playing with two very good players of most mid Undertale with survival. These two players are the Mystery Man, also a top in Unknown Battle Simulator and in other games, and Vive. This guy is also really good, but I really didn't involve him in any videos up until now because I didn't have the chance to. But now, we meet all of us together in this game that I already mentioned. We decided to do an endless hard mode ways and see how far each of us can get together. Now, the character selection was a bit tricky. There were many good characters that can do very good alone and go very far. But since we are on a team, we had to choose our characters very wisely. As for them, we chose these three characters by Perseverance, I with Fatal Error, and Mystery with Outer. Now, let me explain this trio. Basically, this is possibly the best trio in the entire game. Fatal can be able to nuke bosses while Outer is very good at damage and healing his opponents. Also able to overheal them if they have max HP already, so it's very useful for the later waves. And then there's Perseverance, who can protect you from a lot of danger. This is possibly the best defender in the whole game. I'm not even lying. So if Perseverance dies, all of us are already done for. So it's very important that each of us have very good skill because if someone dies, that's an advantage that the rest of the team loses. But now, let's get into it. I'll explain everything. At last, we were all now found in endless mode. We decided then to choose each of the characters already mentioned and by the order of players that I mentioned as well, using them. So now it was our time to shine. We decided to do the hard mode, which is potentially harder, and I can even say it's the hardest game mode of all time. And now we were fun at it. Okay, so now here's the strategy. Fatal has to constantly grind for code with his first, third and fifth move to reach the bosses and then nuke it for the rest to nuke them. Now, Perseverance has to be at a specific area and then trap all of the enemies together in order to progress better. Just because you can trap the enemies over there and it's very useful. So you don't have to feel pressure. Not you, not the entire team as well. And as well, now Outer can also overheal, which will tank some attacks that you will normally not be able to with your normal health. And it can be very useful as well for AoE damage. So we were basically destroying these waves for now. Runes, Snowdin, Waterfall, and Hotland. Not to mention that we have the best trio here, so it went even better. But still, we could not be confident about it, because any single mistake could be horrible, could be fatal even. But as for now, we're just chilling and grind for what we need, for everything we need. And just as you can see, I am grinding code here because I will need it for the future bosses that will possibly kill one of us. So I had to guarantee as much as I could, as well as the rest of the team. And not to mention, we chose the right boss as well, each 5 waves. And mostly not get very far away from my team because they're the ones that can heal me the most. But I cannot alone until I reach half HP, so they are the key to my survival as well. So I had to stay near them and rush only when needed. But now, this will only get complicated from here. And now, it was time. The first wave with a new modifier. Now, in wave 40 to 41, the changes are the enemies change attacks completely, making it even more annoying for the players to progress even further. And this was only the first modifier. Later on, we would get even more of this, so we had to be aware and prepare ourselves. But as for now, these waves, besides the little change, they didn't go too bad either. It was just usual grinding and stuff. And now with the enemies being quite stronger than before, I can grind for way more code than before too. So it was a benefit for the whole team as well. But the things would later get very hard. Because in wave 50, we could get either Metaton or Starship Char. Now, the last one is a secret boss. And despite having a great chance and not a very good chance of getting it, there was still there. Every wave which will increase by 2%, and by the end it will reach to possibly 35. So it was kinda dangerous. If we got Metaton, we could resume on things, but with Starship Chara, it was gonna be painful. So let's just pray that we don't get this boss, because I also died many times on there. I don't know about my friends helping me, but in my opinion, I have died a lot to this boss, more than to any battle. Even so, with the new attacks and stuff, the enemies weren't still hard. We were able to go through all of these waves through the core. And even so, even if we beat Starship Chara or Metaton, we will still get even harder opponents later on that will give us a pain in the head. But as for now, we gotta prepare ourselves. And now that the enemies are stronger than earlier, we gotta reassure to get all of the ultimate bar while we can. In my case, get as much code as I need, which is 100. Now the last ability of 5, the stronger version of 5 couldn't really affect Starship Chara, but it could affect Metaton, which was quite a very big benefit for our run. And then clean this area. Even so, it was not assured that we're gonna get Metaton, so I had to keep it for another occasion. I could use it to skip some attacks, but I didn't really know about that until Mystery reminded me later on. But yeah. But anyway, it was time now for the final wave. I'll let you see everything for now. Okay, so that was lucky. Metaton. Okay, so now, even if we got the easiest boss out of the two, Metaton is still a threat. You do not want to get close to him as well, because he can stunlock you infinitely with the bombs and deal a lot of damage with the sphere so close. So, and as you can see, we were going in. Whoever gets close to him was already in danger, so we had to run away for as long as we could. But so far, it wasn't going really horrible. We were getting good progress in the way, but I still didn't have full code, which sucks. And I couldn't nuke him in the end. But I can still really get code when the boss stops attacking, and then use the ultimate to nuke him before he even uses the next attack. That is good strategy I took advantage of over here. And since when the bosses stay here, the good ones, they will not be able to attack at all. So it was a very great chance to nuke the bosses instantaneously. And so we finished Metaton in like 3 up to 4 turns. And if you thought that was hard, oh boy, we are just getting started. I present to you the final section, New Hope. Now, in this section, we have to fight 6 mini bosses alongside some enemies in order to get to the last wave of the first loop, which there will be waiting for us a very peculiar enemy. But it was not a cold replica, it was the real boss, Asgore. Some of you may have struggled a lot against this boss, and I can understand it. He's the hardest boss in the entire game, I believe, or one of the hardest in Hardmode. Until Papyrus and Muffet become very dangerous during loop 3 and more. But since we are on loop 1, he was now the hardest boss here. Whereas for this wave, we had a little bit more trouble than the others, but there was nothing that we couldn't do anyways. So it was everything right. Even so, knowing what's coming next, we need to be prepared. And so we started looking for our guild bar and for everything we need to be able to confront this boss. Here we go. Asgore. Now, as you can see, Asgore is quite a very troublesome opponent due to the amount of attacks on screen. So yeah, first of all, you don't really want to get to the sides in this first attack because of the fireballs that will be draining your health if you do. No. And these fireball waves are also a little bit tricky, especially during the second phase attack. But as for now, it was not that good. Now you see this, right? In this stage, you cannot hit a sword. He called the help of the 6 human souls now, and now he's using their attacks against us. This is yet another dangerous counter. All you gotta do during this phase is survive the soul's attacks as well as Asgore's, and save the soul. And it's similar to Omega Flowey, but in a different context. And now here, I really decided to heal my friends in my domain and skip the that attack because it was struggling there. So that's a good use you could take from. And so it got hard a little bit there, but nothing too much. Since I already have outer, heal me back. And now, the attack that I was talking about. This one. You see the fireballs, right? Not always you gotta stay in the middle of them, because you will not most of the time. So you just gotta move to the side just like I'm doing. A little bit to the side and you already dodge it. A lot of people used to just get inside, but it won't always work. That's why I'm telling you to use this trick more often as well. As often as this as the first one. And now, the second phase, Asgore can be attacked again. Time to nuke. Most importantly again, dodge the attacks very carefully since this was the end of our run against Asgore. This fight will decide everything. And now we see the special attack. During that phase, you won't be able to attack Asgore and you will be stuck in the box until then you survive or either die. And then you will be able to one-shot him afterwards. Now you can already see that some of these attacks are already a reference to his first ones in phase 1 and 2. So they're basically the same, except this final attack and a lot of stuff. And now, be mostly aware of these slashes. And then, one-shot him, and now you have the boss defeated. Now, you may be asking, you already won the game, right? You beat every boss in the game, even the hardest, and every single wave. Well, that's what I would like to think too. But here's the thing. Since we're playing endless game mode, not just any regular game mode, it's endless hard mode. We're gonna have to do an infinite amount of waves. You see, endless is basically the same thing as infinite, and putting it all together, it stands for infinite waves. So we just have to wave through every single wave until then one of us dies. because the waves will never stop appearing because they have an infinite amount of them, each getting stronger over time. And now, speaking of getting stronger, remember that we are in endless hard mode, not only a normal mode, it's hard mode. And since we're on endless hard mode, that means that we get also new modifiers that will even make the game harder. Now we get two new modifiers. First of all of the enemies now have a chance to appear with a variant of themselves, or a mutation, whatever you like to call it. But it's basically a stronger version of the enemy. And also, every fifth wave of each map, we are gonna get one mini boss. Meaning that we're gonna, for this loop and for the next ones, we're gonna have to beat each mini boss 2 times. Not just one now, 2 times. Which was already complicated enough for us. But we kept adapting to these waves and we kept wiping through them, as we did in Block 1. Now, here's a little bit of gameplay. And at last, we stopped until the loop 3, because somebody had to go and we couldn't finish the run. Either way, we were already kind of in danger because someone died in a secret way. And I want you guys to guess who was the one to die. Oh my god, I love myself so much. But yes, I was the one to die there. And to be completely honest with you, it was very strange how I died. I was at full health, and I was about to help my teammates to skip the attack and heal them in the process. But when I was about to do so, some random friendliness pellets, if we can even call it that, came up to me, rushed me, and then instantly killed me at full health. I just don't get it. It was pretty strange how I died. It was like a robbery. A matter of fact, it even felt like a robbery. So yeah, Mystery and Barf kept proceeding from there until we reached to Darkor, and then Barf had to go. But no, that's it. That was the end of our run. However, that doesn't mean that's our limit. In fact, two of us have already done very well. Mystery in ending in wave 445, and me ending in wave 220 before dying. This time is Muffet. one of the hardest bosses from the later loops. From, from loop 3, that one precisely becomes a top boss, one of the hardest to beat. But yeah, and now, as for Vive sadly didn't make it to the leaderboard. Even so, he has at least some commentaries to say about this video. Like for example, he mentioned there 3 bosses that he considered the hardest, such as Flowey, Stray Chara, and Asgore. Now, let's talk about these bosses. Flowey, generally, is a boss that you need constant moving. The, the moment you stop, you're gonna be a lot very hard. As you've seen, Stray Chara has that same move, which one shot me. And Flowey generally is the owner of it. So it was kind of painful. Not to mention he can constantly stun block you with his vines if you don't know how to dodge them at all. And then leave you a clear shot for the pellets to do the rest of the job. So you're gonna be aware of everything. Now, here's Story Shift Chara. Okay, in my opinion, Story Shift Chara is a mix of Flowey, No More Duos Chara, and Metadon, having their same abilities but used in a different way, and also has a knife attack, which is possibly the only original thing that this boss has, besides the form of the attacks. But yeah, Story Shift Chara is also a secret boss like Flowey, found in the core, as you've already seen. And and this boss is very hard. In fact, I dare to say that the loop series is the fourth hardest boss, and during loop 1 and 2 is the second hardest. So yes. And now as for Asgore, I already talked about him, but you need plenty of skill to dodge all of his attacks. And also a quick timing on dodging those, because if you don't have a good timing of this at all of the fireballs will be draining your health constantly, as I mentioned. But yeah, hard mode is that hard. So this is the end of the video now. See you all in the next one.